Hey everyone, I'm Hallease, a digital storyteller and video producer.
And I'm Mr. Hallease, and somebody dropped big red soda all over my back this morning.
And this is the Beastcast, your favorite aunt and uncle talking about married life and things like such as.
Roll the intro.
Today's topic, we are discussing moving,
Well,
right?
yeah, so when we originally had pitched that topic to each other, it was we were just doing, like a thinking session.
Yeah.
But
we sound so legitimate, a thinking session, pitching topics to each other.
I actually,
we sound epic.
My mind lapsed. I was trying to think of a brainstorming session. Yes, I was
sounded like a whole TV show.
What's that thing that people do? Thinking in a session? Yes, thinking session. The coffee's wearing off.
So the main reason that this topic was in our little bank of topics was because the first video that Mr. Hallease appears on the channel is a husband tag video, and in that, one of the questions that y'all had asked was for us to answer was, what is the greatest sacrifice each of you have made for each other? And at the time we were living in Austin, and he was like, oh, it was moving here to Austin. And then for me, when it was my turn, I couldn't think of something. I literally couldn't think of anything that I had sacrificed for for the betterment of the relationship at the time. Which gave me pause. He was like, oh, do I actually really, am I in this really like I should be? You know what I'm saying? Am I, I don't know. Do you think I pull my weight in this relationship in regards to moving, I guess, now?
I mean, now, yeah, because...
Oh, because I did it, yeah.
I moved for you, and then you moved for me, and then we're squaresy.
Squares. Should you be keeping a tally, though, like that? You know what I mean? That's a good question.
What we had talked about on an earlier, it was like episode 2 or 3 of the Beastcast, where I think you had posited to me, would you move for me? And I said, yeah. I mean, and I would. And that's going back to what we introduced this anecdote with, which was, oh, well, maybe we move to California. Maybe you try that.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, so you had pitched maybe doing a grad school thing, getting a master's.
Man, that was just me speculating, and you just went with it completely.
No, but you know what I do. I will research it to see if it's viable.
Yeah.
If you're just thinking about something or pondering, it's like, okay, well, what if we were both bears? I mean, it's like, this is a hypothetical. I don't want to be a bear.
Yeah.
But when you say, what if we move to California? It's like, I don't know. I mean, I can move now.
I think this is something that I actually find very fascinating about you, is that you always seem very, you always seem like the type of person, you're very set. Mm-hmm. But then there are some things that you are just not set about at all. And one of them is your employment. You will just immediately leave very easily.
I mean, I don't even know. I don't know what it feels like to love your job.
Yeah.
Or to be that committed to the job.
Right.
It's more just, oh, well, this is a good job. Can I find another good job? Yeah, I can find another good job. There's good jobs all over the place.
Yeah. And then also just, where you live as well. You just don't seem, you have some places that you're definitely not down to live in. Mm-hmm. But you seem to be the type of person, surprisingly, that you're just down to just leave. Which is very fascinating to me, because you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, I guess I was kind of like that before. No, I feel like I was more stubborn about it before. But now after 2018, it's like, yeah, I don't care.
I feel like even before then, though, you were still very down to leave.
But I mean, especially now, it's like, I don't...
Yeah.
I'm like, where do you want to go? Yeah, we can try it. You want to go to Canada? We can try it. You're going to get sick of it after 5 years. The snow gets... You are done with the snow after day 3.
Yeah, we looked at moving to Canada Not to be like, oh, expats, F this country, but more just because there's interesting stuff up there.
Well, I mean,
So,
Toronto is a city that a lot of
a lot of
shoots
stuff is-
happen
yeah, a
in
lot of
because
stuff
it
is
just
filmed
looks like
there.
a generic city.
yeah.
And so you don't get to, like, that's the thing that Toronto is known for. Like, its skyline could be any city in America.
Right. So we were looking over there for a little while, or just like speculating moving to Canada, and then kind of talked about moving to LA. I'm still, and I think I told you this as well, I'm still just kind of like, have I hit a plateau in my career where moving to LA would truly benefit me pretty quickly?
Well, and we had talked about it, and I'm still in that mindset, or I'm still in that decision that if you decided, I think it's time for me to move to LA,
Yeah.
we would go.
Really?
Yeah, we would go to LA because I already looked into, like, I did the research. I was buzzed going into a deep buzz. There were many bees in that beverage, but I looked it up and it's like, okay, what do I need for my nursing license in California? Oh,
Yeah.
you just need a sponsorship. Okay, well, what about this, and that? Oh, okay. Yeah, this is not a big deal. I can get this done in a couple months, and then we can go. Like, we could be there.
Yeah.
And then looked at jobs. This is a lot more money than they pay in Texas because of cost of living, but
Right.
still.
But even when you factor in that like portion, it still is.
It's still
Just
pretty
generally,
good.
you're making more money, even though the cost of living is higher.
It's pretty good. I
Yeah.
mean, so yeah, LA would have been a lot more opportunity for you to exercise your creative muscle.
I mean, that's what it feels like will happen, but I'm not entirely sure. And then I also I'm not necessarily, I don't think I want to live in LA. You know, I feel like a lot of people that get into my industry, that is their ultimate goal to live there, but I'm still not quite sure you actually need to live there to succeed at this,
Right.
you know? And I also don't know if you would really like it very much. I mean, similar to what you said, it's a place, they have groceries, they have things or whatever, but you know, I could tell that you didn't hate Austin, but you didn't
Yeah.
like it either, you know?
Yeah.
I
like the restaurants. The restaurants were really good there. They were.
They were, but it's
Go out and have a great time.
Do you even like San Antonio, actually?
We talked about this in an earlier Beastcast.
Did we?
I feel like we did.
I don't think we did. I think we just talked about it, but I don't remember your answer.
It's more of where would you want to live or where would you find yourself? I feel like we did, but I like San Antonio because it's a slower Austin. The highways are better laid out. There's not as much traffic. Food-wise, it's not that, like, it's a little bit stale because there's not a whole wide breadth of stuff. So, but I mean, I could pretty much find myself living anywhere so long as there are things to do. What do we like doing? We like watching movies. We like eating good food. So maybe Laredo is actually a good choice. It's good Mexican food.
That's it, though.
It's better than the Tex-Mex that they have here.
True, but like that's all it is.
Movies, drinking, and yeah, Mexican food.
Right. Oh.
Can one not live on Mexican food alone?
Oh, one can.
Mexicans can.
One definitely.
My people can.
One definitely can. I mean, and that's an interesting point too, because remember when there was a point when you were getting your master's degree and finishing up where I said, oh, well, why don't we just move back to Laredo or move to a rural area where you can get, you know, into a really good opportunity and that pays down a lot of your student loans and this, that, and the third, whatever. And so I had pitched Laredo to you, knowing full well that you could potentially get a job there and I have to live there, you know?
I mean, I would have definitely gotten a job there, but I don't know if it was the job that I wanted because I think remembering now, they didn't have any quality positions. It was all just nursing stuff. Not a lot of director or manager positions, which, I mean, a couple years ago I wasn't even qualified for.
Right.
Regardless of whatever education you had. And on top of that, the rural loan forgiveness programs for nurses, they're just always very persnickety. So it's like, well, you need to actually have employment first. You need to be employed for a certain period of time. Then you can apply. And the hospital has to meet, you know, like all these criteria. And it's like, okay, well, what does that mean? Well, it's this. So it's like, wait, so it's jargon defining what you want, what the requirements are. Like that, you're making it very difficult.
Gotcha.
So I didn't want to move back to Laredo, do that for a few years, and then realize, Oh, all of this was for naught because this wasn't the right hospital.
Hey everyone, thank you so much for watching / listening to this episode of the Beastcast.
Yeah.
If you're new here, a few quick announcements. The first thing is that you should let the ads play. I forgot what the announcements are.
That's hard. I mean, I've been trying to do it for
videos,
and it's hard, man. It's just like I've already watched this same purple mattress commercial. I don't know how many times. Thank God it's only 25, 30 seconds. Like that's fine. Then you
put it on mute. Just mute it.
No, because you start. It's like I want to watch this video.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, this one is 2.5 minutes long. I can't do it. I'm sorry. 5 seconds in, I'm skipping. It's hard. It's hard.
You're not wrong.
So a lot of you that are doing it, I mean, y'all got more self-control than I do.
All that being said, if you can watch the ads and don't skip them, that really helps. And that helps all creators that you're watching here on YouTube. Don't skip the ads if you can. Help it. But at the same time, if today's not that day, you got to skip an ad, we understand. Also, if you are new here and would like to support the Beastcast continually, then check out the Patreon for the Beastcast, patreon.com/Hallease. There you actually get early access to the episodes before they are released to the general public.
What?
And then you also get other access to other videos before they're released to the public, news about us before anyone else.
More videos and news?
Yeah, like if I get a new award, accolade, something with you, like, oh, we're moving. I'm going to tell the Patreon producers first. And then finally, there's merch. He's wearing it.
It's a good shirt. It's comfy.
Yeah, if you're watching us on YouTube, the merch is literally below the video. Check it out. Buy a shirt. Appreciate ya.
And for those of you who do wish to subscribe to Patreon, some of these mics, a lot of you have noticed that the sound is better.
Yes,
and
that
it's
is
because
entirely because of the Patreon producers.
And I appreciate it because I can put lumbar support on my back.
Yes,
I can sit on the couch.
Helped this old rickety man sit on the couch instead of at the table. And you've helped me not have to hear him complain to make a Beastcast episode.
My back hurts.
So thank you.
I am getting older and my back is bad.
Thank you, Patreon producers.
Thank you, somebody, for listening.
Wow. Back to the episode.
Somebody for caring. Bye.
Back to the episode. He was not a fan of moving to Austin, but eventually you did it anyway, though. So, what was that like? Actually, let's go back in time.
Let me get some more coffee in me.
Anyway, let's go back in time.
Okay.
I do distinctly remember us having a lot of conversations about me wanting to move to Austin and why.
Mm-hmm.
And ultimately having to convince you. But what convinced you?
Well, so...
You know?
Okay. I mean, I was pushing back on it because I had a job offer. So I was very much done with working in the call center because it had been 2 years. And I had come up with every simile and analogy to liken it to hell. And so my jokes were running stale, but like I was just ready to move on to the next stage, and I had that offer. It wasn't that much more money, but it was more money than what I was making, with the potential to move up. But I think, and I was just like, well, I mean, like I have the guarantee here, whereas we're going to Austin, and you don't have a guaranteed job like you would be looking, and you were looking, not for very long, but
no, it didn't take very long. It isn't. I don't sit without a job for very long.
Yeah, I mean, but it was still uncertain. But you had just told me like the best prospect for me to get a job would either be Austin or LA.
Yeah.
And I did not want to move to LA.
And I didn't either.
So I said, okay, Austin. Oh, okay. So I thought it was like a bluff where it's like, well, I mean, it's either LA or Austin. I was like, crap.
No, I didn't want to go back to LA either. So
I thought you were just playing
like, oh, if I give him
card.
2 epic things, he'll pick the least epic thing, which is the thing that wasn't what I was doing. I was just being honest. Like at that point in my career, that was what I could do.
You we would need to move to Austin for you to get a job. Like, okay. And I'd rather both of us have a job than one of us, because then we're
Right.
both going to be suffering.
Right.
So applied for a bunch of jobs in Austin and finally got one. Went up and interviewed, got it. And then that's when we officially were moving.
Yeah, but you also, like, you just sped through that, which is really interesting.
That's all I remember.
Wow. So I remember it way differently. I remember it being more of actually a struggle because, yeah, you were going back and forth to Austin, but you remember so was I. Because
You were,
at the time,
that's right.
That was why I kept pushing to move to Austin, because I kept getting editing jobs in Austin.
I don't remember that.
And I needed to be up there. And so I would spend a whole day up there editing for the company that eventually hired me. And sometimes, remember, it would work out because you would be interviewing, and so you would just schedule an interview on a day that I was already going to be up there anyway.
Right.
And we would just stay up there. But remember, there were times where you'd be in the interview, and then after that, you were just sleeping in your car waiting for me to be done working.
Whoa, I don't remember that.
Yeah, and then vice versa. There'd be times where you had an interview, and I had finished my work pretty early in the day, and so I was just hanging out in Austin waiting for you.
Wow.
And there were times that we even, like, I think my parents helped us out one time because you had a couple interviews back to back, and
they got us a hotel room.
And they got us a hotel in
I remember your
Austin
mom got us
to
one, yeah.
help us out, because it was like, oh my God, they're really trying, you know? So they threw us a lifeline. Thanks, Mom and Dad.
Dang. So I remember like spots of that, but I thought that was at a different stage in the marriage.
No, that was
Wow.
early. Like, our whole first year of marriage was a lot of like trying to set a foundation to just build off of.
But I think that speaks a lot about who we are.
Yeah.
Because I will do whatever I can for the benefit of us, and
Right.
you just hustle. Like, that's all you do.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
We moved for each other, and I think earlier you said, well, you know, should you keep tallies about
Yeah.
how many times you've moved for the other person? And I think, again, in an earlier Beastcast episode, we mentioned, you know, for a healthy relationship, it can't be a competition.
Yeah. It can't be a competition. See, this is why marriage is like a paradox to me. Because it shouldn't be a competition, but at the same time, the little things do matter. You know what I mean? Like, there has to be an acknowledgement that one of you is potentially, and I think I talked about this in another episode. It's not that your life is bad because the partner is moving or you're moving for your partner, but it's just that you're closing off opportunities now. Like, there's pathways that you will officially not be able to take because you're leaving this city or you're moving to a new one or whatever the thing is.
I think it's more just balance. So, I mean, part of that is like you're tallying how many times you've sacrificed or done something to
I
make
don't
sure.
even want to say sacrifice, maybe just compromise.
Okay,
I don't know. Sorry.
how many times you've done something for the other person. Okay, if you're not happy with that choice of wording. But yeah, I just feel like it's more balanced because I think we had talked about this at the beginning of the marriage. Like, oh, what if we had moved to Austin like we did, and then what if we moved to LA, or what if we did this or that? So what if we had moved 3 or 4 times for you,
Yeah.
and then never for me? Like I would have felt frustrated, or I don't know how I would have felt. I'm sure I wouldn't have taken it that well.
Yeah.
But I did it for you, you did it for me, and now it kind of doesn't matter. Like, we're at a point where it doesn't really matter. But if you were in the military or something, and then we had to move around, then that's
just what it is.
Yeah, that's just the reality that you live in.
Yeah, very true. Very true. But I feel like that, I'm sure that eventually weighs down on whichever spouse. I didn't really have, ironically, being a military family, we didn't really move that much. We stayed here for my entire life. But I guess, I mean, what I'm trying to make sure is that we actually give some substance.
Yeah.
Make sure we actually give some substance to this episode. Like, what can we tell people about moving for a partner? Like, when is it not a good idea to move for your partner? Potentially, you know?
It's kind of like getting an apartment or signing a lease with somebody. Are you really ready for that commitment with somebody who you've been just boyfriend, girlfriend with? Or is it more of, and I'm sure people do that, but is it more of like, marriage type of thing, because then, oh, well, I'm moving for the person that I'm with, and then you break up, and now what? Now you're stuck in that city. You're going to stay in that city? You're coming back?
Right.
So I don't know how committed you need to be in order to do that.
Yeah, because you remember one of my friends, that was how she ended up in Austin.
Yeah.
Was she moved for her partner at the time. We actually know a few people like that, I think. That
Yeah, I was going to say your other friend that moved down to Corpus.
So it's like, yeah, when is it a good time to move? Because I think it's such a big step. It's a leap of faith for sure. Are you making that leap for the right reasons? I mean, what are the right reasons?
Yeah, I mean,
you know,
a lot of times you just make the decision. It's like, well, I mean, I think it's right for me at the time. And then you look back in hindsight and it's like, oh yeah, it wasn't the right time.
Or was it not? Remember, we've been watching Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee, the Seinfeld show. And it's the Trevor Noah episode. And I don't know what makes Seinfeld say this, but he says that knowledge, like, you don't need to know things until it's time for you to know things. And then he said, like, the pain you feel is that knowledge rushing to your brain.
Well, yeah, like you don't need to know everything.
When it's time for you to know, you
will know, right?
Yeah. And so I guess maybe moving is like that. You just make the decision and it feels like the right thing to do until you get there and it's like, oh no, now I know it was not, you know?
I don't know if you can easily answer that question because it depends on your industry. It depends on whatever.
Yeah.
Because I'm a nurse, so I can go and do whatever.
Yeah.
But if you have a really good job in tech and then you want to move to a city who doesn't have a lot of tech jobs, then that's not a good move for you.
What's bringing you there?
Right.
For love. I feel like it just worked out. But did it just work out for us because we're both super a hustle type when it comes to employment anyway? Or did it work out because, I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, did we just force it? Did we just make it work?
I mean, I think we just made it work, but it also, like, I didn't have a career, so it didn't matter what job I took. I just needed to get a job up there. And then coming down here, you already had your job. You just needed internet access.
All right.
I don't really know if there's anything that they can chew on. It's more just, like, this was our experience, and that's how it went down. But and it made it hard. It made it hard in the relationship.
It did. That's true.
Because part of moving down here was you working out of the house that we were renting.
Right.
And us discovering that you need to leave the house or wherever we're living in, because otherwise I get home and I'm ready to retire and you just want to escape.
Yeah, but I mean, we'd already knew that in Austin too, because remember I used to work out of the studio a couple times a week as well.
Yeah, but so you had a studio. Here,
right.
When we first got to San Antonio, you didn't have that.
No, I did
not.
So
we realized that. Because that was something that was really impacting us. Impacting you.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I need to go out. And it's like, okay, well, we're eating out a lot every week. Or every day almost. Yeah. And we're still doing that now a little bit. Too much. So we'll talk about that later.
All right, guys. Well, this was that episode. I mean, I don't know. There's not really a good point to this one, I feel like. Which I guess that's okay.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of these topics are just going to be kind of... There's just not a big takeaway or anything. And we're not really breaking down a topic too much. It's just like, yeah, people move. People move.
Yeah.
It's like, should you move? I don't know. I don't know your life. Is it good for you? Otherwise, take a shot, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. In the comments below, let us know. Have you moved for a partner, for love, and so on and so forth, and it did work out, didn't work out? Put it down in the comments below. Let us know, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye. Someone's calling you. You need to answer it?